Hi and welcome to Steve's Kitchen, the second edition of our road trip, guys, and there's lots to talk about still. I'm going to be talking about breweries and donuts and River Cottage and many other things, I'm sure. Firstly, I want to say I had a fantastic visit to a brewery in Bruthen. It's also on the Prince's Highway. What a great place. I'm an absolute passion for real ales, and so is Neil and his son, who own the Bullant Brewery in Bruthen. Gosh, that's a bit of a tongue twister. But when we arrived there, we met a young man called Luke, and Luke was very knowledgeable. Thank you, Luke, for showing me around the brewery and telling me a bit about your beers. Now, there's been some pretty terrible things happening around the world with the economic downturn, but occasionally great things come of that. And Neil and his son were lucky enough to find this brewing equipment, which came from Richmond, Virginia, a brewery that had gone out of business. And they brought it halfway around the world to Australia. And now Australia is richer for that because now we have this fantastic Bullant Brewery. And I sampled, Luke made a sample up of different beers for me to try, and I'm not one for saying no when I get that opportunity. So I'm a great lover of those darker, richer flavoured beers. I had an IPA, I tried their stout. There was a brown ale, like a Newcastle brown ale. It was actually called, just 1 minute, the Pig and Whistle brown ale. There it is there, I've got a bottle here. And it was fantastic, by the way, and I also had a wheat beer. These beers were exceptionally good. I mean, really, you have to be there and try them to know just how rich with flavour. Particularly the IPA, which I think Neil had upped the hops on, and it was just fantastic. Cheers, guys. Get yourself down the Bullant Brewery. That is, what's your address?
46 Alpine Road, Bruthen.
46 Alpine Road, Bruthen. Well worth the drop in. So again, thank you, Luke, and thank you, Neil, for your time. And you have just the most beautiful brewery there. If ever you happen to be travelling up that way, up the Prince's Highway to Bruthen, call in and visit the Bullant Brewery. Whether or not you're coming from Australia or overseas, get up there. They've got a wonderful restaurant there. There's a young girl there cooking up some fantastic food as well. So you can sit there out in the sun on the deck and have a beautiful beer, a beautiful meal, really enjoy yourself. And there's lots more to see in the area. And what better than drinking beer that's brewed on the premises? These are beers that the patrons of the actual premises know about, and they can talk to you about them. I can tell you now, it's a fantastic experience. And of course, I'm going to be taking some of those beers, the ones that I brought back with me, which I'd much rather probably drink, but I'm going to be taking those, and I'm going to be making some recipes where we'll be using beer to enhance the recipe. So look out for those coming very shortly. Now, after we left the Bullant Brewery, we continued north up the Prince's Highway, and you can see there are some roads that we would go on where there would be really miles and miles of just beautiful countryside and very little else. So let's see where the next turning is.
In 241 kilometers, enter roundabout, then take first exit.
241 kilometers to the next turning. That's the way we like it. Now, while we're on the road, I need to nip back to Tilbury quickly because I want to talk to you about River Cottage. Now, a lot of you may know the River Cottage series. It's with Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall. And those in the US that don't, please understand this is a sort of a self-sufficiency, living in the country type program. It's a sort of reality program based around one person. Now, River Cottage is being filmed just outside of Tilbury, just literally a few minutes outside of Tilbury, and I'm a great fan of the show, so I popped up there and we stood outside River Cottage. It looked pretty quiet, there didn't seem to be much going on there, but I was pleased to see where the River Cottage is being filmed. What a beautiful valley, those guys are so lucky. Tilbury is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous place. Hi guys, and I'm outside River Cottage, Australia here. We're just outside of Tilbury. Tilbury is 1 kilometre just back there, less than a kilometre, and we're just outside this beautiful valley. If you just pan around and have a look, this is the most gorgeous, gorgeous valley. I've got a little pony down here. Hello fella. We're really having a wonderful trip along here. If you can get out to Tilbury, as I said, it is fantastic. We've got some wonderful cheeses, we've got some fantastic food to be doing some recipes with. There's some parrots up in the tree there. There are parrots all over here. For my friends outside of Australia, when you see groups of birds flying here, they're often parrots, which is a wonderful thing to see. That is River Cottage, Australia. We used to live some time ago in a very similar environment to this. We kept our own pigs and animals. It was heaps of fun. I really, really advocate anybody who wants to do that sort of thing, just do it. So if you haven't had a chance to see River Cottage, the original series, I'd really recommend that you go and watch those, because Hugh is just a fascinating guy. And if you even have a chance to see his very early series of Pick on the Wild Side or Food on the Wild Side, that's a great, it's called Cook on the Wild Side. That's a fantastic series. And the new Australian series of River Cottage as well, big thumbs up. What a great series. Well done, guys. And I'm just proud to have popped round and seen where it was being filmed. Now, wherever you drive in the world, you'll find the world famous this and the world's best so-and-so. And that can be very subjective, but I can tell you a lot of the things that we found on this road where they claim to be the world's best. For instance, the donut van, the world famous donut van in Bury, they were fantastic. And there is so much to see at the Princes Highway. If you're not in Australia, come to Australia. Drive the coastlines. It's a big country, so it'll take some time, but drive the coastlines, visit these small towns, and you'll get to really understand what Australia is about. Now, the culmination of this journey was to arrive in Sydney. I had a few personal reasons for going up there, a few business reasons for going to Sydney. Now, while I was in Sydney, I have to go and visit one of my favourite parts of Sydney, which is Darling Harbour. And guys, I've got some footage here I want to show you. Darling Harbour holds a great deal of good memories for me. Many years ago, I used to go to Darling Harbour very regularly and see the light shows on in the night. They do the laser shows up in the sky. The harbour there is full of things to do for families. You see these fountains where you can sort of walk around, and they're just beautiful. This water fountain down here sort of trickles down. There's a pathway, a dry path that runs from that top corner, and you can sort of walk down through the dry path and get to the centre, the bauble in the centre. There's a lot of old ships. There's a historical maritime museum there. There is so much to see and do in the Darling Harbour area. I mean, you're literally just in the centre of Sydney, so you can get to the Opera House from there just by walking. You've got the Chinatown nearby. You've got all these wonderful, wonderful restaurants. And as I say, so many outdoor activities as well. And there's always street performers there. What a fantastic place. One of the other things in Darling Harbour is you've got the Google offices. And I popped in there just to say hello to the guys in Google, and that was interesting. You're literally just a few minutes walk from the Botanical Gardens. You've got the Sydney Zoo. As I said, you've got the Opera House there as well. You've got the Rocks at Sydney, which is a great place to meet and eat. So if you're in Sydney, never ever miss out visiting Darling Harbour. And if you get chance, not very far from Darling Harbour is the fish market, which is a fantastic. Now, I didn't get to go there this time, but I do love going to the fish market. It's a wonderful experience. Now, if you're like me and you enjoy a decent cup of coffee, well, you're in luck, because as I left Darling Harbour to go back into the city, I came across a cafe, and I'll put the address up here, and I'll also put the details, maybe a little map up as well to show you where it was. A cafe called Home Cafe, and we were really in luck because this guy in there, Simon, who was the barista in Home Cafe, was so knowledgeable. They actually roast, they've got a 5-kilo roaster on site, so they're roasting their own beans in this place, which is a real plus. They're passionate about the beans, and what Simon doesn't know about making coffee is just not worth knowing about. The guy was just a charming guy.
No, we've got these whole beans here. We're grinding them fresh to water, and the trick is to actually catch those gases and the aromas coming out of freshly ground coffee. You can smell it as it grinds, yeah? You're trying to get that as fresh as possible and then catch that into the water. So what you need to do to emulsify those oils and that gas, you need heat and you need pressure. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're trying to create an even surface, so there's enough pressure in there to hold it in, for the water to hit it and come through it and pull those oils out. So if this is uneven, or if there's a weak point, the water will find its way through and it won't evenly extract. So we'll see what happens.
very spicy.
Yeah, good.
You should be looking for a nice even coloured syrup coming through. It should be coming through at a semi-even rate, not too much gushing, not too much bubbling. It's a little bit there, but it's enough to serve. And then when we're done, you want to have a nice even coloured espresso. There's not too much white streaks through there.
Yeah.
It's nice and thick and syrupy. There we go. You can have that if you wish, my friend. I don't know if you drink espresso.
Let me just smell. The aroma coming off that is beautiful. It's rich. There's no bitterness. It's sweet. It's like nectar, yeah. Gorgeous. The food there, by the way, was fantastic. We had some lunch there. But Simon showed me how his group worked, his coffee making machine that was there. I can tell you now, if you like a decent cup of coffee, or not really a decent cup of, a fantastic cup of coffee, Home Cafe. Pop in, see Simon and the guys there. You will not regret it. So if you're in Sydney, get down there. I'm certain this was probably the best coffee I've ever had in Sydney. Mind you, you can get really good coffee in Sydney because it's a coffee culture. So guys, at this point it was getting towards the end of our road trip and time to head back to Melbourne. And of course I'm here now reporting to you what a fantastic trip it was. I'm sorry about the sound quality. Now, for those of you that follow the show will know that we've invested in better sound equipment. So when we do some road trips next time, we will be filming a lot more on the road, and that's something I'm really looking forward to doing. So anyway guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you to everybody I met on the journey. It was absolutely fantastic, and I will be doing it again. I'm certain of that. So guys, be good, take care, please comments down below and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Now I hope you've enjoyed these couple of videos on the road trip, and I really would like some encouragement. Maybe you can give the thumbs up down below to say that you've enjoyed them. I had a whale of a time. We are going to be doing more of this in the future. My subscription button is up there, or you can click the subscription button down below, and of course a couple of links to some other videos. Guys, be good. I'll see you next time.